Hello, sea lions and dolphins. Now it's time for literacy today on our Friday learning. This is a spelling lesson, so the flip I'm going to show you won't be too long because it's mostly about you experimenting and working on the spellings from the sheet we're going to give you. So this is just going to talk a little bit about prefixes, which I know you talked about last week, Mrs. Wilson. And I'm just going to run you through the sheet so that if you're at home, obviously they're going to be doing the same one in school, but if you're at home, you know the questions, you know what we're expecting of you. So hopefully you won't have to email us, but obviously feel free to if you need to. It's just purely, obviously it's nicer for you if you don't have to spend that time doing that and then waiting for a response. So that's the main thing. And we are going to go through a few other things, but it's mainly just going through the sheet and making sure you understand everything that's on there. So we're going to have a quick look together now. So our learning objective today is to spell the words beginning with D-E, R-E, P-R-E and N-O-N. So D, re, pre and non. So I've kind of already ruined this a little bit. What do we call a group of letters that are added to the start of the word? So of course it's a prefix. So it means it goes at the start. So it prefixes the letter. Pre meaning before something, fix meaning making better or making right, I guess. So prefixes are what we're looking at today. So how do these prefixes change the meaning of the words? So what I want you to do is look at these words and then look at the word next to it, which has got a prefix on it. So there's two REs and two DEs. And just think about how that changes the meaning, because obviously it changes the spelling, but how does it change the meaning? Because the meaning in every one of these changes. Some change slightly, some completely change the meaning. It has nothing really to do with the original word, the root word, if you like. So if you could have a little bit of a look at that, pause the video, give yourself as long as you need, just have a little bit of a pause and just have a look at that and come back in a moment. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to do that. If you haven't, don't worry, just pause the video quickly now before I go through the answers and then you can do it. So pair and repair. So a pair is a pair of things. You might have two chairs, which is a pair. You might have two cards, two playing cards that are the same that are a pair. So the main thing is with a pair is you have two of something and they're the same. Repair is obviously completely different. This is to repair something, so it might be a broken car, you might need to fix the engine, somebody's phone might be broken, so you need to fix that. And there's lots of different types of repairs. Obviously there's like a mechanic with a car, like I say, with a spanner and a hammer, things like that. There can be engineers who repair computers, which is a lot about software and wiring and things like that. So there's lots of different types of repair. But you can see pair and repair are completely different words, have nothing to do with each other really. It's quite interesting, isn't it? All you have to do is put that prefix on and it changes completely. Rail and derail. Now they do have something to do with each other. So a rail can be a rail on a staircase or in a corridor that you hold on to. But generally when we say rail, we mean like a train track rail. And derail means if something comes off that rail. And again, that can be applied to the other types of rail. But again, generally you hear it when a train comes off the tracks, which is obviously a horrible thing. And thankfully it doesn't happen very often. Because it's going to be very dangerous, but that's generally how we hear these two words used. Rail as in train track and derail as in when a train comes off that track. So they're quite similar, but still different meanings just because you put that DE at the start. Then we've got view and review. So again, these are pretty much completely different words as well. So view means what you can see, really, doesn't it? You might be on top of a hill, you might say, what a beautiful view. And you're talking about what you can see in front of you. So my view right now is Mrs. Wilson's classroom. I can see the working walls, I can see the chairs on the tables because no one's in here, of course, everyone's in my class. I can see the door, I can see her computer, I can see her sloth, I can see out the window over here and I can see out onto the grass outside. So that's my view. A review means it's almost like you're judging something. So you might review someone's work, you might look through someone's work and tell them what they've done well and what they haven't. You might review a restaurant. So you might go to a restaurant and you might say, well, this was brilliant, but this wasn't so good about that restaurant. You could review a sporting event and you talk about the game. So like in a newspaper report, which I know we've done a lot of recently, there might be an article about a sports event And that's really reviewing that sporting event. That might not be what they call it, but that's what they're doing. Really, they're saying, this is what happened. This is what we think about it. This is what might happen next. So it's like a review. And then frost and defrost. So kind of like rail and derail. They're completely different words mostly, but they do have connections. So frost is obviously when it's really cold and you get a frost on cars and on the ground and on windows. And defrost is to basically get rid of that frost. It's a verb. It means to get rid of that frost. So they're completely different words, but they do obviously have a strong connection with each other. So we're going to go on to the sheet now of what you're doing today. So you've got all your keywords on the left-hand side, which you need to use throughout as normal. And then you have questions A, B, and then extra A, B, and then an extension. So the focus, says copy and finish these word sums. The first one has been done to help you. So it's DE plus compose equals decompose. So really what you're doing is you're putting the prefix onto the root word and then writing it out. This might seem straightforward because all you need to do is put the first part on the front of the second part and then write it. But it's really good spelling practice just for you to see that and write it, because there's lots of things we can talk about. Sometimes just doing the thing is what you need to do. Just doing it, writing it, reading it, writing, reading, over and over. That's how you learn a lot of things. So if you could do that, I would write out the prefix, then the root word, and then the equals, and then the new word. For question B, you need to write a sentence explaining what sometimes happens when you add the none prefix. So have a look at the words on the left, those key words, and just have a think about what you think might happen. You only got to write one sentence, you haven't got to write loads, but just think about what happens when you add the prefixes, and think about what I talked about on the previous slide as well to help you with that. Extra A, so there are 11 DE, RE, PRE, and NON words hidden in the puzzle box. Copy them into your book. So I would probably circle them like a word search or crossword first if you can print this out. If you can't, don't worry, maybe highlight it and then write them down in your book. So there's 11 to find, so good luck with that. Then extra B, match one of the words you have found to each of these definitions. So when you found all 11 words, you need to write number 1, write the definition, so to make safe, and then put equals, and then write the word. Remember, all the words are on the left-hand side of the page under the keywords, so that'll obviously help you as well find those words. And finally, with the extension, use a dictionary to help you write a definition for each of these words. So you write the word, write equals, and then write a definition. If you have a dictionary at home, brilliant, please use that. If you do not, don't worry. As usual, on the Sway page, I have linked the online dictionary there, so you can look up these words online. If you feel really confident you know the word, I would still look it up, because one, you never know, we all make mistakes, you may be wrong, but also it's really good to get a really exact definition, because sometimes we think we know what things mean, but actually we've got sort of half of it, but there's some parts we don't understand. So please do look them up in the dictionary, even if you think, oh, I definitely know what that word means. Like nonsense, I'm sure a lot of you have come across the word nonsense a lot of times. Desperation, you might have come across, but please, like I say anyway, look them up in the dictionary, because it'll help your dictionary skills as well. As well as knowing you've got the answer right, it'll also help your dictionary skills. So that's it. Like I said, it was always going to be quite a short video today, because it's really just going through the sheet with you and just talking about prefixes again. But this is the last lesson, which is, really nice that, we'll see you all soon, and we can't wait to have you all back in the classes. I'll talk about later. At the end of the day, I'm going to do a little video, so please check that out. But just saying how much we're looking forward to seeing you all. But well done with all your work. You're all doing fantastically well. Keep it going. Keep trying as hard as you can. Keep pushing yourself to the end. And then we will see you all soon. I'm doing maths, obviously, after break. We're going to do some times tables in the afternoon. We're going to do some art. So I'll be back then to see you.